rather poignant question. So what is wrong with the property world today? Dead money. Dead money and a closed system. Here's a property, part equity, part debt. Over the next 20 years, our debt will get paid down, and there will be equity, increased equity in that property. But what does it do? It doesn't do anything. It just sits there. It's not active. And why is the money dead? It's because the system is a closed financial system with a single buyer and a single lender. And the lender holds that building as collateral throughout the life cycle of a debt, so you can't actually use it. Even when you paid off all your debt, the only thing you can do is sell the property, because that's the way the system is designed. And it's quite funny that the majority of the world's wealth is actually frozen. It's not very useful. I've spoken to hundreds of owners, property business owners over the years, and asked them many questions. Most significant being, what if you could access the money stored in your property, your equity, and control your debt without losing ownership and without having to move? What if you could buy another deposit, have another deposit for a property? What if you have money to build another building? What if you have money to invest in somebody else's property, money for your friends and family? What if you could actually use your equity to make your debt repayments in any given month when cash is tight? Freedom to breathe in this financial system. If all that money became active and suddenly had a purpose and was useful, they said yes, we would use that system. Welcome to HiP, the world's first property bank, where equity is a currency and owners can access their property wealth just like they would a bank account. And investors can participate in the choices those owners make. Uber meets SimCity meets HSBC for property. Buckle up. I began researching HiP in 2013. Why did it take so long to come up with a solution? Because I actually wanted to create something that really had a difference, made a difference, not just to me, but the people who use the system. So I researched every crowdfunding, every peer-to-peer platform. I had a look at their mechanics, and I realized that they just weren't going to work. You know, there needed to be another solution. So I created an exchange. And at its core is an interactive debt and equity marketplace. Transactional revenue for us. Nobody else provides this. So no banks, no crowdfunding, no peer-to-peer. By building interactive debt and equity, when you apply it to different verticals in the property industry, it solves different problems for different people. So first-time buyers, for instance, can now buy the percentage of the house they can afford, and the rest can be sold to somebody else. People who are asset-rich with residential or commercial can now realize money from their property without incurring any more debt. Homeowners, asset managers who are developers who are looking to build 1,000 new homes can suddenly share the risk of that development with multiple other investors. And when they've built those homes, they can sell them based on affordability to people who can buy them. The list goes on. If you take that strategy and put it to different sectors, you'll see what I mean. Equally, our technology is pretty cool. We have a beautifully presented virtual world. Virtual world meets real world in every detail. Users can find their property in the virtual world, and they can create the building that they want in the virtual world, and then they can fund it through our platform and experience it in the real world. We even have our own currency to allow people to pay for trading. It's called the HiP token. Owners can access their property wealth with a bank account style screen. It's that easy once they're onboarded onto the platform. Investors can invest in thousands of properties, debt and equity, with one click. They can choose to invest in the UK property market, in London, in Chelsea, in that building. They have complete freedom in the way that their investment system works. Our onboarding process, we have a live and interactive file management system that allows owners to publish their documents and real-time lawyers and surveyors and conveyors to review those documents and approve them before the launch. And the investors then can check that history to see whether that investment building is attractive to them. We're the first to pass new regulation in the UK and in Europe, a contract to trade debt and equity. No SPVs, no limited entities. It's a fast, viral mechanic that we've designed. That contract, if you know about blockchain technology, will become the prequel to a smart contract so that we can use a public ledger for an immutable record of ownership as this live environment takes place. The size of the market is huge, as you know. Just in the UK alone, the total addressable market is 6.4 trillion. HiP is the first to make equity a currency. So we're opening up a whole new revenue stream that never existed before. Our mapping technology, we can mobilize in any country in 4 weeks. So subject to regulation and data, this is where the Uber part comes in. We can be aggressive in our expansion. Our roadmap, what's happening? Well, we're 4 years in the making. We're about to launch it in a week or so. I was hoping we could do it today, but technology is not that. We've got over £100 million worth of new development opportunities being published to the app in our first range. We've already got discussions with asset managers with 15 billion under management. We've been nominated for 3 awards. We've won 1. I'm hoping today we can notch up another. We're not even live. We've raised money. We're going to do an ICO, if anybody knows what an ICO is, in the early part of next year, which is a whole other mind thing. But, it's great. We've got momentum. We've got a team of 40. I've been an entrepreneur maybe 20 years. My first company was in investment banking. Tobias he built the first digital trading platform ever. It's still in existence. I didn't look that old, but Sam's a multi-winning designer. John sold his last company to Google for 30 million. Michelle is a global ex-CTO for Saxo Markets. Peter Bill is the former editor of the Estate Gazette. There are about 5 or 6 industry advisors that will get published on our site soon. Coders, technology, compliance, 2 in-house compliance officers. And our ICO team is a whole other thing. We just had John Matonis join from the Bitcoin Foundation and join our advisory team. So we're getting a lot of momentum. We're very excited about what's happening.
Brad.
Thank you.
It's an impressive vision. Explain to me what happens in a downturn and the credibility of your platform when some of these assets are underwater.
Well, we have a risk. We're the first company to have a live risk management system that basically can make forecasts of who will be dead in that process. So when we onboard properties in the beginning, we're going to have high buffers. So we'll take a crash of maybe 25, 30% of 2008, and say we won't allow anybody on. We won't take that risk at that time. And then as we build liquidity and momentum, we'll take more risk. We'll have better risk tools. We'll be able to assess where the markets are. And of course, the markets will be cross-border. So we can pool liquidity and bring market makers in.
Great presentation. My question's around the due diligence. How do you make information available to your various investors, the people that would be looking to put equity into the platform?
Yeah, we have a live, actually on the app, there is a live messaging system which allows people to upload documents, lawyers to review them, sign them off, and then investors can go into those due diligence documents and see the history of the dialogue, conversation, see that they're succinct. And after a while, they get used to the fact that we do it right and properly, and they'll just invest. And if they need to refer to the documents, they're accessible anytime.
So sticking with the theme, this all gets to the asset valuation. How are these being valued? And even on the financials, are they audited financials to make sure that the data is really credible?
Correct. We don't try and change how traditional buildings are audited. We just try and create efficiencies in which we can speed up the process of the audit and have live technology systems to manage it. So we'll be using the same people. We'll just be hurrying them up a bit.
So, is this a trading platform, or is this an investment platform?
Yeah, this is Uber meets, SimCity meets Barclays Bank. I mean, it's a merge of gaming. It's underpinned. So gaming brings to life, the tactile nature of what buildings are in the virtual world. The trading engine underpins that. The access from the owners is through property banking, and the investors come in at a different angle. But it's all done on the app.
And the brokers like it.
Quite a lot of people seem to be liking it at the moment.
Very impressive presentation, big idea. I think if you can win at this, we'll all remember this day when we send you free product.
Yeah.
So I guess I would ask you to speak a little bit to the ICO and why you chose tokens over cash.
Yeah, sure. It's a 4-year project, right, to this point. So I built the whole thing with crypto in mind. I had a Bitcoin casino in 2013. So I knew the power of blockchain. And so I built the whole platform from regulation to the technology, the vision, the whole thing. But I was going to do a Series A at the beginning of this year, and then ICOs were blowing up, and we were in conversations with liquidity providers, insurance houses, and banks. And I said, well, if we kickstart this without a dependency, then great. And of course, ICOs, the amount of money you can raise is quite strong. So we're looking at 86 million raised during the ICO for a minimum. And as the app is released over the next 2-3 months, we'll get orders from the app, and then if that number is in excess of 100 million, we'll increase the raise and the size. And that will be the liquidity money to drive the initial traction in the site. So yeah, I mean, I love crypto, and I love the open philosophy of it. So we build it in the platform from day one. And we nicely interface, you know, our app. You won't know that you're using crypto, but you'll be starting to introduce the mainstream will be introduced to the concept of crypto gradually and softly, so that they don't freak out.
So I'll be honest, I think I need more than 5 minutes to fully digest everything that I just saw. But it sounds like you either are or need to integrate with a lot of different stakeholders, right? You have local data you need to pull, you have consumer data, you have lender integrations.
Yeah.
Where are you in that process? How do you think about that?
Well, I didn't even mention this. We've got 35 million endpoints on our map. So we've done data mining for a year and a half. From 7 different silos. You just basically click on the build and you get the price valuation, commercial and residential. So it's kind of it's a hook in, right? So it's the beginning of our trading data, because we need that then to run our live trading systems. How do you price something once something's issued and so on. So we've actually got open APIs that will be running on the site to encourage people to come and integrate with us. So we're going to create energy, and then we'll allow the people who want to be part of that energy come in and be rewarded for it. So there is a whole reward system in there, which is again part of the crypto token economics that we've designed. So we want to build something, let it go, and then people, you know, grab it and come onto it. This is not about ownership for me. This is about creating something interesting.
Great. Thank you.